Hey guys, fishing stuff. Today, I've got 10 fishing hacks for you that you're gonna use because they awesome. So don't go anywhere. Today, I've got 10 fishing hacks that's gonna help you out. They're actually cool stuff that I have a hard time fitting into my DIY videos, so I put them on their own separate video. And speaking of DIYs, if you're not subscribed and you like DIYs, go check out my channel page. I got a long list of DIYs and I'm sure you'll find something you like. And if you do, click subscribe. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Hack number 1. I tell you what, a good Plano box is hard to beat. But when you're in a tournament and you need to replace your rig fast, these little notebooks that the bass fishermen use, I like to use these because they got pockets where you can hold everything and you can have rigs made up in it. You can have everything you need, so if you lose a rig, you can just replace it. Plus you can keep extra stuff in it. I also have one of these for panfish, like brim, white perch, crappie. I mean, sometimes you need to catch bait and you can keep everything you need in one of these. I also keep one for bass in my boat. So if I decide to bass fish, or if you're up against it, where I'm from, North Carolina, bass is bait too. Here's a little bonus tip, guys. This is a panfish hook. You see how small that is? Well, these are trout hooks down here. If you're getting bit, but you keep missing the fish, go down to one of these smaller hooks and you'll start hooking up. That's just a little bonus for you. Hack number 2. The next fishing hack, this is a wooden dowel. Wooden dowels cost hardly anything, 50 cents maybe. Well, I cut about 2 foot off of it and I mounted in my drill. When you need to take the line off of one of your reels, I put it in a rod holder on my boat. By the way, this rod holder right here, I made and I got a video about it. Go check it out. Just set your rod in your rod holder like you're fishing. I don't hit the button and let it free spool. I just loosen my drag all the way up. So it'll pull off, but it won't keep backlashing. Next, what you want to do is get it started on your wooden dowel that you've mounted in your drill, and you just hit the button. You let it run until all the line's gone off your reel. Then you just re-spool it with new line, and it makes it a lot faster. Now when you're done, you just take it out of the drill bit, and all you have to do is take a razor blade and run down it and cut it all off and throw it in the trash. Hack number 3. All right, the next hack is hydrogen peroxide. Most people know that if you get a cut on your finger, you put this hydrogen peroxide on it and it bubbles, it cleans, but it breaks down as it cleans and it turns to water. So it's safe. You can add some water to hydrogen peroxide and you can swish with it in your mouth if you have a sore in your mouth. Hydrogen peroxide is kept in a brown bottle because light will cause it to break down. If they put it in a clear bottle, it wouldn't last but a month or 2 on the shelf and it wouldn't be hydrogen peroxide anymore. It would be water. Hydrogen peroxide is basically 2 hydrogens and 2 oxygens. That's what it's made up of. When hydrogen peroxide breaks down, it turns into 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen and another oxygen. Well, when it breaks down, it basically turns into water and oxygen. And believe it or not, you can put hydrogen peroxide in your live well. It's safe for your fish, and it adds 37% dissolved oxygen instantly. If you're in a tournament or you're just trying to keep bait alive, add a cup of hydrogen peroxide to your live well and your fish will be more lively. Fishing hack number 4. This next hack sounds crazy, but after you get through cleaning fish and your hands stink, wash your hands in ketchup, then wash it in soap, and it'll take the smell off your hands. And they smell better. Fishing hack number 5. Alright, the next hack is sharpening your hook. Some people know, but everybody doesn't, that when your hook gets dull, they'll just change them out. Well, you can sharpen your hook with the wet rock. This is an Arkansas whetstone, and you see that groove in it? It's made for sharpening hooks. Large circle hooks are a little bit too big for that groove, but you can still sharpen them. What you want to do is kind of like sharpening a knife. You just want to bring a real fine point back and make it to where it'll penetrate the fish's mouth easier. Now this is a brand new hook and it's sharper now than it was before. So you can even sharpen brand new hooks and make them even sharper. Hack number 6. Alright, this next hack is just a wine cork. Comes out of a wine bottle. You can drill a hole in it and you can put a peg in it and make a peg float. Or you can drill a hole through it, take some wire and some beads and make a float like the one Whisker Seeker sells, which is basically like a demon dragon. You can connect it to float your line up when you're drifting. Now I paid $5 for a whole bag of these corks from Hobby Lobby, but a subscriber of mine called Psycho Nurse, I like that name by the way. Now he made a suggestion that was pretty good. He said when he goes to Olive Garden, he goes to one of the employees and he asked them for their wine corks. They sell a lot of wine and they throw away the corks, and he said they'll give them to you. So that's a free way to make you some bobber floats. You know, one other thing you can do with these wine bottle corks, you can take these things and you can drill a hole in them, and you can use the little drill press lathe like I did on the bobber video. Go check it out and you'll see what I mean. You can take these and put them on that little mini lathe. You could turn these down and the possibilities are endless. Hack number 7. Now this hack is taking a float and making a flag out of it. A flag you can hang on your line so when you're getting a bite or getting a run, you can see it. We used to make these when I was younger. You cut the little brass pin that's in the bobber out with a pair of dikes. I'm taking stainless steel wire and putting in it, but I normally use a paper clip. You bend one end of it really small and you put it on the spring end. Then you run it through your bobber. And when you get it up to the top, you make your loop as big as you want it, and then you trim it off, and you have a flag. Now you got yourself a flag you can hang on your line when you're using the awesome bank fishing stands, which I've got a video about. You can go check it out. But that's basically what these are for. Fishing hack number 8. Some of you guys that night fish, you may have noticed how rod and reel companies, they always make a white tip on a black rod. Or like these, they have orange tips in their black rods. The reason for that is supposedly so you can see your tip at night if you get a bite, because everybody knows it's easier to use white rods night fishing. But this tip here is an idea I've had and I'm fixing to do. You can buy glow-in-the-dark paint and you can buy glow-in-the-dark tape. So you don't even have to paint it if you don't want to. You could just get some tape and wrap it around the end of your rod. That way when you're night fishing, the end of your rod will actually glow in the dark instead of it just being this clear stuff that you still can't see anyway. Hack number 9. Okay, this hack is about scissors. There's nothing better than a good pair of scissors when you're fishing. I mean, if you're tying a jig, I like to cut the fins off a bluegill and white perch so a catfish can swallow it easy. But there's nothing better than a good pair of scissors on your boat. But scissors are kind of weak. They're heavy scissors and they're kind of shaped like needle nose pliers, so you can put a lot more force when you're cutting. You can cut the fins off a fish. It'll cut braided line. I mean, they'll cut just about anything. Kind of a crossover between metal snips and scissors. But they're made by Cuda. This is what the packaging looks like. It says Cuda on it, titanium, 3 times harder. You can pick these up at about any Walmart. I've bought several pair and they're real handy. And they're only like 10 bucks a pair.
Fishing hack number 10.
This next hack may not be a hack, but it sure is cool. And it's about fillet knives. I like folding fillet knives because I can close these things and I can stick them in my pocket. I can put them in a storage compartment in my boat, and I ain't got to worry about cutting my fingers off when I reach in there. They're hard to find in stores, but if you look on Amazon or online somewhere, you can find them.
Well, there you have it. 10 fishing hacks that are awesome. Well, I think they're awesome. Guys, click subscribe if you're not subscribed, and click that bell so that YouTube will notify you when I post, and you can watch it. I'll see you next time.